What's going on, guys? It's Vito here. You're watching Build on Faith, me literally building my first house, mostly on faith. There's a little bit of me involved, but mostly it's God doing it. And I will, explain that in the future videos. But today I want to talk about something that happened yesterday at church with me and what the pastor was talking about. So they have a series going on where they are talking about prophetic gifts and how to use them, how to step out in faith, how to take the first step, and God will take over from there. And that's exactly what the pastor was talking about yesterday. He was basically saying, hey, sometimes we think it's us, sometimes the Spirit talked to us, but then we start talking back at the Spirit, we start reasoning with the Spirit, and sometimes we don't obey because we talk ourselves out of it. And he was talking about that and how we should, when we hear the Spirit, just do it. And we don't need to have all the answers. We don't have to know everything. God will step in after you step out, and he will take over from there. And that's exactly what happened with me yesterday. While the pastor was preaching, I got a vision about a bee getting smoked out and how the bee was just so weak, so defenseless, and I heard it lost its sting. And while the pastor was preaching, I just kind of was talking to God. I was like, Lord, that's interesting. That's really random, and that's a really cool analogy. And also, I forgot when the bee was defenseless and it lost its sting against the hand that was coming in and grabbing the honey. So there was a hand that just kept coming in and grabbing honey. And I told God, this is really interesting. It came out of nowhere. The pastor I forgot about it. I put it into my mental notes for later to tell my wife, and the pastor basically went on to the next stage, which is, hey, we're going to practice these gifts right now. You're going to find a partner and you're going to pray over him and see if there's anything that comes to your mind. I want you to pray over that person. If it's a vision, if it's a prophecy, if it's just, I bless your finances or whatever, just do it. Just step out. Don't worry about it. Just be willing to do it. And the moment you open your mouth, God will take over. And that's exactly what everybody started doing. I had a guy sitting next to me. His name was Ty. I met him earlier. And a guy in front of me, his name was Paul. So me and Ty look over at each other and we're like, hey, meant to be, bro. We're praying for each other. And we're about to pray. And then Paul comes along because I guess he couldn't find a partner. So we start praying for each other. Paul was the oldest. And then it was my turn. And I was praying, and I had these thoughts going on when Paul was praying. That's dumb. Don't say that. A bee. Come on, man. They're gonna think you're weird or something. And I was kind of battling with myself, but I decided I'm gonna just say it. And I just said it. I was like, hey guys, while the pastor was preaching, I saw a vision of this bee. It's getting smoked out. It's defenseless. It lost its sting, and there's a hand that keeps grabbing the honey at will. And I just left it at that. Finished my prayer, opened up my eyes, and I look over at Paul, and Paul is he's just big eyes, and he's just so happy. And he's like, Vito, my daughter plays softball, and at her last team, the coach wasn't using her fullest potential. They were kind of neglecting her. And me as the father, I know her potential. So I moved her to another team. But it's been really hard. I don't know if I made the right choice because, she lost all her friends. She has to make new friends. It's a new team. She basically has to start from scratch. But the team that we moved her to is called the Queen City Buzz, and their mascot is basically a bee. And while Paul is talking, I'm just zoning out. I'm just staring at him like, what are you talking about? I couldn't believe in myself that God gave me a vision while the pastor was preaching. And I could have just left because my baby was already crying. My wife already went to the back, and I was debating whether I should just go when everybody starts getting up, just go and leave early, like, most of us do. Well, at least me and my wife were guilty of that. But I decided to stay. The Spirit was telling me, hey, this is for somebody. This bee analogy, stick around and just say it. And I did. And when Paul was explaining about his daughter and the softball, I was just staring right through him, amazed of what God did. I just took the initiative and God stepped in and he took over from there. And that word was for Paul. So something that was going on for months, God gave me a little glimpse of it. I said it, I chose to say it, and then God worked through that. So I hope that encourages you. Just step out in faith. You don't need to know. If God's telling you go on a walk and talk to me, go on a walk and talk to him. If God is telling you to start a Bible study, start a Bible study. If he's saying go and pray right now and I'll reveal to you, go and pray right now. And I bless you in the name of Jesus, and I pray that you will receive favor today in the name of Jesus, and that you will see breakthrough today in the name of Jesus. Today is a day of breakthrough. Just step out, just listen to what God is telling you. Don't hesitate, ignore the other voices, and I'll see you guys on the next one.